I wanted to give a video demonstration of Kala Vedic Astrology software. I wanted to just demonstrate some of its wonderful features for astrology in general, but especially Vedic astrology, Indian astrology. And I'm just going to sort of meander through the software a little bit, kind of give some examples, and just to demonstrate what you can do with this amazing software. This was been designed by Ernst Wilhelm and his partner, mostly Shrishti, but it's Ernst's design. It's his big creative project. He's been on for, I think, pushing 3 decades now. This current version I'm demonstrating is the 2023 version. This is the latest version. So this is the chart of somebody, perhaps you've heard of Donald J. Trump. And I just decided to pull his chart, just have as an example. But I'm not going to be reading his chart. I'm just going to be using the software platform to demonstrate. So we have a South Indian chart. If I press F2 on my keyboard, let's see, I have the circular chart that a lot of Western astrologers use. We have the North Indian diamond chart. If I press F8, we have outer planets. Just press F8, they go away. You can play with different nakshatra-based dashas. There's only Yogini and Vimshodari here, but they're, depending on the particular horoscope, there could be up to maybe about 6 different nakshatra-based dashas. We have the different sign-based dashas of Jaimini. We have things like the planetary age phases that you can utilize. There is various chart and screen options. You can have a wider screen option if you have a smaller screen. You can go to have different asteroids of various sorts. You can have different special lagnas. I have the Jaimini, Gatakahora, and Bava lagnas here in this particular chart. Let's see, what else can we do? The different font options and color coordinations can all be customized. If you want to use the glyphs like I have here, this is Jupiter. You can just click here, and then you have just the more easier to read symbols. Of course, we have the nakshatras. If I right click, you can click all this planetary information that you want to tune into, different astronomical information. As far as I know, most people don't even use this stuff. I might tune into the speed for different prajna rules, but that's only here and there. In terms of calculation options, there's a wide-ranging array that you can use, and Ernst has specifically done this for research purposes, even for things that he doesn't even agree with. There's different Varga calculations to use. You can debilitated planet calculations for like the moon and for Mercury, Pada calculations. For dashas, there's different ways to calculate the year length for nakshatra or Rashi-based dashas. Different things for Muhurta. All sorts of different house cusp systems. I like to use Campanus, which is what Ernst has. I use the default of the Ernst Wilhelm settings personally, but you can totally use different house cusp systems. You can use sidereal zodiac. You could use tropical zodiac with sidereal nakshatras like I use. These are all of the ayanamshas. I think there's about 50 here, including a custom one. There's all sorts of ways to utilize these for different research purposes, and that's why Ernst has this. You can use the Aditya zodiac, which is a forwarded zodiac from the tropical. It's a tropical-like zodiac, but it's 30 degrees forwarded from tropical zodiac. This is something he's sort of teaching right now. I use tropical, but if you want to use Adityas, you can use that. If you want to use sidereal an ayanamsha sidereally with sidereal signs, here we have a sidereal zodiac. Let's see, there's a lot of unique printing options that you can utilize in Kala, which is very useful. You can customize Kala in various ways. You can customize it in, let's see, color options. You can make it as jazzy or as plain as you want. There's a whole Panchanga feature to find different Pachanga information for those who want that. There's a whole ephemeris feature for those who want to tune into that. Let's see, what else could I tune into here? Another really cool feature, a lot of yoga information regarding longevity. All these longevity yogas to find in a chart. Marakas related to longevity, the death inflicting planets yogas are related to that, so it's easier to research. Mental illness yogas, marriage and sexuality yogas, all sorts of yogas. The 144 bhava yogas from Parashara are here that are kind of just useful to have on hand if you're tuning into that. Spiritual yogas of various sorts. One of the most unique things I think in Kala Vedic Astrology software is the eclipse feature. And so this is the solar eclipse feature of the up and coming solar eclipse. Let me just tune into, I'm just sort of changing options. Let me go back to what I'm familiar with. Tropical Rashis with Sidereal Nakshatras. Okay, so this is the upcoming solar eclipse. You can look at different aspects related to this. You can tune it into the Gochara report if you want to. What's so cool about this is you can click on the Saros cycle, just double click, and you have the entire Saros cycle to tune into for seeing the original eclipse, to get the theme of that. And we have over here the lunar eclipses, same thing. So we can tune into upcoming lunar eclipses. You can tune into the Saros cycle and find whatever Saros cycle you want for research. This is very useful. I love this feature. It's one of its coolest features. There's a whole Ashtaka Varga feature of looking at the Ashtaka Varga within the natal chart. You can right click and we have, I'll get into these, but there's some really cool tables, but Ashtaka Varga year, Ashtaka Varga transit places. There's a whole Ashtaka Varga feature, so it's pretty cool. You can search transits. You can search different different features in your whole astrological database for particular planets and signs, planets and houses. So that's kind of cool for research. Ernst is really into research. So Kala is sort of useful in that regard. One of the coolest features that I like is the Muhurta feature. And so you can tune into upcoming Muhurtas for finding your own Muhurta. There's all sorts of things. There's all sorts of Muhurta information. Ernst is a wizard when it comes to Muhurta. And so I highly, highly recommend his Muhurta book that he wrote like 23 years ago. It was very good. One of the coolest things is if you can just pick your guide with what you're trying to find a Muhurta for, and then you can select a place and time, and you can even put a time frame window to have the software find good Muhurtas for you, and then you can do your own research to kind of crystallize what you want with that. I use that all the time. It really makes things a lot easier, but of course you have to know your Muhurta principles to ultimately use it. There's a whole Varshafala feature, which is really, really cool. A whole Varshafala screen. There's a whole Prajna screen, which I like to use since I do a lot of Prajna. There's a whole Cards of Truth feature for those who want to tune into that. There's a whole compatibility feature. You can choose a particular chart within your database to find compatibility principles. This is all the Vedic compatibility based on the nakshatras. We have the synastry over here. We have composite. We have the Davidson chart. You can even do synastry over the Navamshas. It's really cool. There's a whole nakshatra feature. I rarely ever use this, but for those who want to tune into that. Um, there's a whole transit screen for animated transits. This is really, really cool for those who want to predict down to the day. You have to utilize this screen. I use this for rectification. You can pull up different Varga charts of various sorts for if you're trying to rectify that kind of thing and play around with choosing different aspects. You can there's all sorts of things you can do with this feature. This is one of the coolest features in Kala, in my opinion. And he uses the circular screen for that, but there's also a progression screen for Western astrologers that you like that technique. There's a whole yoga judgment screen based on Parashara principles that Ernst has tuned into. Really cool screen. But if you go back to the main screen, you can also do South Indian chart, North Indian chart. That's kind of cool. You can customize it in all sorts of ways. Tarot tables. There's lots of things. Now, most people don't use all these features. I don't, but you can pick and choose what you want. If I right click, we have all sorts of features. We have all the different Varga charts you can utilize. So I can right click on this Trimsumsha chart and I want to pull up the Shodhanamsha. I click the Navamsha. I can put the Bumsha. This is the Ishta-Kashta table, Lajatadya Vashta calculations for different levels, dignities, and Vargas. There's a whole Shad Bala feature, which is really cool, of all the different balas. Or you can have a little screen over here, the Jaimini Padas, which we have a whole Jaimini screen, which is really, really cool on software. You can tune into nakshatra details, upagrahas. You can tune into special lagnas, padas. You can make this big, you make this small. You want the transits that's going on now. You can make the screen a bit larger and you have the whole transits. Let's see what else. This is the Jaimini Karakas over here. What do you want? We have the whole Shoda, the different, all the Vargas basically. Let's see, there's a whole different planetary information. There's all sorts of things, different aspects, Tajika aspects, planetary aspects with their proper Varupas. We have the Kala Jataka feature, which is cool if you want all that information. There's just a lot of different things you can pull up. There's a whole Jaimini Yogoda table for Yogoda, Jaimini Yogas, Panchanga for the natal chart, fatal degrees, all sorts of things. Let me see what else. Anyway, it's a fantastic overall software. There's lots of little things you can do. There's a whole notes feature. I have all these notes when I was rectifying Donald Trump's chart. So you can put in all your own information into that. So there's a whole help feature with the owner's manual. Anyway, there's lots of cool things here. If anybody's considering buying a Vedic astrology software, I highly recommend it. It's very cool. It's fun. There's a lot of proper calculations that are based on proper astronomy that most softwares don't have, like on combustion and planetary war and things like that. Ernst, he uses the Swiss ephemeris. There's a lot of, you can go to Vedic-astrology.net and find more information about the software. It's really wonderful. It works very well. It's intuitive, and you can use it for a wide ranging of things for all sorts of. You can be a Western astrologer and use it. You can be a Vedic astrologer, sidereal-based astrologer, tropical astrologer, if you're into Dityas, whatever. It's very nuanced. It's well put together. Highly recommend it. And so this is just a snapshot video on this wonderful software. Okay, thank you.